Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the redistricting process in a few states specifically, but an update on what's going on for congressional redistricting and potential gerrymandering. So, literally an hour ago, the Oregon governor, Democrat Kate Brown, has signed both redistricting bills into law, which means essentially they have passed this map 2B, their new congressional map. So I'll take a look at their current map in a second, but what you can see here is that this map is a pretty favorable map for Democrats. So originally it was anticipated that Republicans were actually going to net a seat in Oregon because Oregon's gaining a seat. The Democrats currently have a 4-1 lead in Oregon Congress. It was expected the Republicans would actually gain a seat, making it 4-2, with the new seat being added, being a Republican seat, because they were threatening to walk out and just, say, nope, we're just not going to let you guys pass the map. And as a compromise, we'll just let you guys draw 4 safe Democratic districts, but you got to give us an extra district. So that looked likely to happen until the Democrats ended up kind of going really quickly and passing this map without a ton of, it was a pretty quick process. And, I know that it's, it's unfortunate to see, kind of behind closed doors, smoke-filled room, this kind of thing. But it's kind of the way politics has worked right now, and we're going to see the same thing in Texas, we're going to see the same thing in Florida, we're going to see the same thing in Georgia, and I'll talk about Texas in a second as well. But what we're going to see right here is a pretty democratic gerrymander. I would say a map that is a pretty solid democratic gerrymander, not an atrocious gerrymander, but not really a light gerrymander either, because the Democrats are drawing 5 out of the 6 seats in Oregon to be, electing them usually, when in reality they only won the state by 15% in 2020. So I agree the Democrats should have the majority of seats in Oregon for sure, but I don't think that it should be necessarily as much as they are going to have here, because Kate Brown, again, this is basically the official map because she did sign this into law and because the state legislature passed it, so it did pass all chambers, barring, the Oregon Supreme Court to say it's illegal, which this map is legal, so, they wouldn't really pass an illegal map. That would be a waste of their time. Backfire. But the most competitive district is the 5th district, which would go from, I believe it's a likely Democratic district. It'll go from like D plus 6 or 7 to D plus 3, and I don't really think that means too much for the Democrats. All 5 of their districts in this map would be trending blue, and this district grabs like I don't have the DRA map, but this district does grab the areas really that are kind of trending blue. So as you can see, this is the best thing I have, but you have the parts of Portland over here, the Portland suburbs, which are also blue, and then it grabs the city of Bend, which is kind of out here. Bend is like the only Democratic area kind of past this, arbitrary line that exists kind of in the beginning of Hood River County, where Bend is like the only splotch of blue in an otherwise very, very red area. So it's important that we remember that this just kind of shores up everything the Democrats are doing. They have parts of Portland over here. You have the fast blue trending Portland suburbs, which are going to really bolt this district to the left. And then you have Bend over here, which Bend, the county itself, actually, Deschutes County, the county Bend is in, flipped from 2016-2020 towards the Democrats. Donald Trump, I think, won it by like 3 in 2016, and then Joe Biden won it by 9 in 2020. So this is a county that has been shifting to the left, and Bend, the city itself, is growing. It's getting more diverse, and it is also shifting to the left. So I do expect this seat, although it may look competitive on this map because it's only very light blue, I think it's going to be a likely Democratic seat for a while to come. And these seats over here, you have Peter DeFazio, pretty strong incumbent. He would be up by 9 in this seat, probably win by a little more. And then you have this seat, Kurt Schrader, who actually might be primaried out here because Kurt Schrader is a pretty moderate Democrat. He's not really too well liked, but he would kind of have a thing where he would be taking in Salem and some of those liberal suburbs of Portland. This just doesn't have too much of Portland in it. I mean, it has parts of it, but I think Portland's mostly between these 3 districts over here. But you have mostly the Portland suburbs that are progressive enough to see a potential primary for Kurt Schrader. Schrader is much more likely to get primaried out than actually lose the general election, for what it's worth. Then you have these 2 safe districts over here with Earl Blumenauer. I always forget how to pronounce his last name, and then Susan Bonamici. So these are 2 pretty safe Democratic districts. They just take most of Portland. And then these, areas like Hood River up here, they're very blue. This district is very safe for the Democrats. And then you have this seat over here, Susan Bonamici. She would be up by 34 in this map, and she'd probably overperform. So Oregon's 2nd district, they say R plus 28. I think that Biden actually only lost the current 2nd district by like 13 or 14 or maybe 16, somewhere in the mid-teens range. But it would stay Republican. I think, they'd probably win it by 20 because they are shoring it up. And, the most Republican big seat in Oregon is probably Medford, which, as you can see right here, Medford is a big population center in this district, excuse me. So I do think that I would, kind of say this seat is an improvement for Republicans in terms of this district only. It kind of just, it takes away the left, it doesn't really mean too much because it takes away the left-trending part. Look, this seat before was kind of just like this. It was cleaner looking, but it had a lot of left-swinging areas, specifically Bend, because Bend did make up, I think, a fifth of their electorate in 2020, and although that may not seem like a lot when Oregon rurals are not as red as they should be. So it's if there was a random electorate where Democrats got better, Obama numbers in the rurals and got randomly high turnout in Bend, they could flip the seat. Not going to happen, but the Republicans got short up in this seat for sure to compensate for, more blue precincts in Bend being shoved into more Democratic areas. So this map is a win for Democrats for sure, but, there are upsides for Republicans if you want to kind of look at this from the glass half full perspective, but in reality it's more like a glass is 90% or is 90% empty, and you're saying it's 10% full for the Republicans. So this is disappointing for Republicans for sure. I understand people are frustrated with this map. I don't like it either. I think it's an unfair map, and I want all maps to be fair, but that's the reality we live in. I guess the first official map being passed is going in the Democrats' favors. Now, let's take a look at a map that's likely to go in the Republicans' favor, and that's a much bigger state, and it's Texas. So, in Texas, this is the first proposed map that was proposed to our Republicans, and it's likely to be passed. It looks pretty legal to me. I don't really see too many issues with it, but essentially what you do have here is a map that I actually have on DRA, or it's basically a 25 to 13 map, because I'll count the Democratic districts out loud to make sure I don't miss anything. So you've got the 16th district, which is in El Paso. You have the 28th and 34th district, which are light blue, but, if you want to use 2016 presidential numbers, just to pull up what Clinton would have done here, I think these are safe. They're very safe. And this district over here, the 15th, will be shifting blue. So, just to kind of look at the county overlays as well, because it's helpful for you to help memorize where these are, because you have to memorize new boundaries. You have Webb. This is Hidalgo. Webb County, which I believe is home to Laredo, I think it's Laredo. Yeah, Laredo. Pretty blue city that would be keeping the 28th seat district blue. It shifted to the right in 2020, but again, it's really only because Donald Trump did so well with Hispanics. I don't think it would flip, and Democratic incumbents down here did overperform Joe Biden, so I would suspect these to stay blue. Then you have kind of a crack of Hidalgo, as you can see right here. They would be cracking Hidalgo. And, it doesn't surprise me too much, but it seems like they want to create a competitive seat in the 15th district. The Texas GOP thinks they can win this seat, and, I'm not really sure what they're kind of going for here. It is a slight Democratic lean, but I think Gonzalez would win it. If I had to make a forecast, I'd bet that Gonzalez would win it by 4 or 5%, just because Joe Biden, he only lost it by a point or so, and he did absolutely atrocious with Hispanics, especially in southern Texas. So I think that all three of these seats would be, Democratic seats. Just humor me for a second. I would say that these four seats would be blue. This 23rd will be competitive, but the Democrats lost in 2020. They can do better in 2024 if they do better with Hispanics in the seat, because this seat was actually expected to be a Democratic gain, but they lost it because they just underperformed with Hispanics. Things could change for Democrats, but just right here, I'll say it's Republicans. So that means you got still 4 Democratic seats. Then you have this seat essentially in just Austin, the 37th, the 30th, the 35th. The Texas Republicans continue to the legacy of that. I don't even know, the cable man is what I like to call it, because it looks like a cable. You got 35 here, and then the 20th in San Antonio. But so they did continue the crack of San Antonio, as you can see right here. They just cracked it a ton between the 23rd, the 20th, and the 21st, which is they shored up Chip Roy. I think his seat went from R plus 6 or 7 to R plus 12, if I recall correctly. Let's see the 21st district. No, it's actually R plus 24. Whoa. But I think in 2020 it would have been R plus 12, because I know I got that number from somewhere. So let's just see the numbers for the 21st district. It would have been, R plus 18 actually. So they definitely shored up Chip Roy. My apologies for that. Then we have these districts in Houston. I think you need to have one or two majority black districts, and I don't think that they have that. So they'll need to fix that. But they have, I think the 9th, which is, I'm guessing in Dallas, and then you have the 30th, which is in Houston. One of them is in Dallas, one's in Houston. So the 9th is in Houston. I'm guessing the 30th is in Dallas. Yep, the 30th is in Dallas, because I do think you need to have 2 majority black seats in Texas. I could be wrong about that, but based on what I've read, from a legal standpoint about Texas redistricting. The courts are likely to have you have 2 majority block seats. So to make them, in my maps, you basically create 1 in Houston, 1 in Dallas. So, anyways, that's 3 over here. That's 7 seats for the Democrats. Then you got to add on these 4 from Houston. It's 11, and then you get 2 more in Dallas, or actually 3 more in Dallas. But so that's 14 to 24. But I think a lot of people didn't count the 15. So I heard it's 25 to 13. Could be 24 to 14, but this map is, not terrible for Democrats. I think it's better than they expected. I was hearing people were going to go, I was hearing that the GOP was going to go nuclear and draw like a 26 to 12 map or even a 27 to 11 map, which would have been insane, but they didn't. They kind of kept it the way it was and just shored up their incumbents. The 15th, they clearly see something in the 15th, and, that's mostly because of how well Trump did here in South Texas in 2020. And, there are 2 sides to this. On one hand, if these trends continue, the Republicans can absolutely win the 15th as well as the 28th and 34th. But if the trends kind of even revert to a very minor extent, they're going to lose the 15th, they're going to definitely lose the 28th and the 34th. Because I think that Donald Trump had a really unique performance with Hispanics, especially in Texas, for sure, because his rural populace can definitely appeal to rural Hispanics in southern Texas. So I think that Florida, I think the Republicans are going to have a better time in Florida with Hispanics than Texas because Donald Trump is, his socialism attacks on Joe Biden were not unique to him. The Republican Party has been using that for a while, and it's not only a Trump thing. Now, I think Trump's populism with rural Hispanics could be a different story, especially in areas like Texas. So I see the 15th district is, tilt to lean Democrat, but the Republicans really see something here. They probably know more for this than I do. They're a strategist working for their party, and I'm a kid on YouTube, so they might see something in this district that I don't see. But from what I am observing and kind of trying to make educated guesses about, I'm going to say that this map, or that the 15th district at least, that map of that district is not likely to flip. Now they're going to hold the 23rd, they're going to hold the 21st. The 38th, I think, is at least R plus 15. I'm guessing because it is a suburban seat, and they're going to be really careful with that. Yeah, it's R plus 18, so they're going to be careful with the suburbs. I don't think it's going to flip before 2028 or 2030. You've got a few seats. The 24th is, pretty ugly, but they had to do that to make it safe because you remember, these seats are bolting to the left, especially in Tarrant County, northern Dallas County, and then southern Collin, Denton counties. These are, areas that are bolting blue just to look at the precincts. I'll just make this easier on myself. I'll go to the 24th district. I'll just observe this district, only current. And then you can see the precincts here. This is 2020. Like, if you go to 2016, President 2016, it's a heck of a lot redder. If you go to Senator or Governor 2014, I can guarantee you it'll be even more red. There was barely blue precincts. And now, when you see this link from Governor 2014 to President 2020, it gets a heck of a lot bluer and a heck of a lot less redder. So, if they're worried about the 24th, they shorted up for their party. I don't think that they'll be losing the 24th anytime soon. Like, if it's less than R plus 13 or 14, I think it could flip by the end of the decade. But it's R plus, that could flip by the end of the decade. But I don't think they're worried about that right now. Because if it's, if Trump won it by 12, it could flip by 2028. But I think for right now, they'll be fine in 2022. They'll be fine in 2024. 2026 might get a little competitive, but even that, I think, would have a Republican lead. So, this map overall, if I had to describe it, I'd say the Republicans did not go as crazy as I thought. I thought it was going to be, personally, a 13-district Democrat map. It looks like the Democrats are going to end up getting 13 districts, but I thought it would be a lot worse for them than it was. So, the Democrats are going to win 13 to 15 of these districts. Probably 14 would be my guess. 23rd is probably going to stay the same, but, the 15th is winnable for them, and they also have that 24th district in Dallas that if they do really well, and they can flip that there, or that too. But I'd say 25 to 13 for now. I know I've been bouncing around that. 25 to 13. Actually, I'll stop myself here, but maybe 24 to 13 because the 15th is, a pure toss-up to tilting Democrat. But 24 Republican seats, 13 Democratic seats, 1 competitive seat so far from what I've seen. And we'll have to see what 2022 holds because this map is really interesting to look at. I look forward to analyzing in the future. So if you enjoyed and found this video informative, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.